Mate, I'm very, very lucky to be in the company of such beautiful women. Now, I'm a lover of music, and when you listen to an artist called Slow Hand, to you young bucks, it is Eric Clapton. He wrote a very beautiful song. He says, Layla, won't you ease my troubled mind? Layla, you got me on my knees. I am begging you, please. It's as if really Eric Clapton was seeing the beauty and the complexity of this beautiful woman. Well, fast forward to our show. We've got the pleasure of talking to one Miss Layla. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's only a pleasure. That was one of my favorite songs.
There?
Yes, Eric Clapton.
Beautiful song.
You know, we always hear or find out sometimes accidentally about a beautiful voice and then match the face.
Sure.
There's always, who's that girl singing there? And when we heard Ganyani, he was talking about you. You know, obviously then we could not picture you. But there's always about, who's this girl on your thing? So we are so happy to have you today.
Thank you so much.
Your parents named you?
Ntabi saying Wamohe.
Yeah?
Yes. That's my real name.
From KZN?
From KZN. But the thing is, I've kind of split my life between Springs and Etegwini. But I was born in Etegwini, and then I came to the side and then went back again to Durban, and now I'm back again here.
And it's all Sotho name and
Yes.
from KZN?
Soweto, very like we're Sotho. My father's Sotho.
Yeah.
I'm from Spokane.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Then Uma was Etegwini.
Oh.
So hence the Durban connection as well.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Before Ganyani, if you had to educate me about your origins of music and in this business, please.
Sure. Before Ganyani, I got a license deal with Universal. We basically licensed my song, which was called Foreign Tongue. That was my debut single. So that kind of started getting a bit of traction on radio stations as well and so forth. Up until then, I kind of met DJ Ganyani. But before then, I mean, I was just still struggling artist, you know, still trying to be on the come up. I kind of been in behind the scenes for the past 9 years, you know.
Wow.
Just
doing?
Everything, writing, you know, just basically trying to hone my skills, you know, because now I kind of feel like I'm more confident to kind of now come into the forefront. At first, I basically started off at Jazzworks, you know, just trying to find my sound, just basically being acquainted with the music industry, because everyone used to come there and record and whatnot. So I basically just learned a lot. Hey? Like, it was just very heavy as well, and everything that was also going on. But I kind of started to kind of get to understand who Layla is as an artist, you know. I'm just being in the surroundings of other big musicians as well, you know, but just really trying to also get my foot in the door, because the industry has been tough to kind of break into. It really has been difficult to really break into.
And it always breaks my heart that it will be tough to talented people. you know what I mean? I mean, you've got people that have got beautiful soul and are very, very talented.
Yeah.
And they would find it tough. It's almost as if this is a thankless industry, that I am bringing the powerhouse that is my soul and my talent. And I'm talking about a musician.
No, abanandaba.
You know?
They don't
Do you
care.
think that is fed by the public, who one can argue, Uguti, they have detached from refinement, from seeking the best out of their art forms, and we're taking the mainstream and we're just going ahead with
I mean,
what's
I would
fashionable?
agree with you. I definitely would agree with you. But it's also up to us as the talented musicians to also try to push through and kind of open gates for ourselves, you know, instead of just always relying upon the labels in order to push our music and whatnot. But we also need to find different avenues within the industry, you know, to kind of put us more up in the forefront.
Because there's space for everyone.
There's space. I mean, the pie is, we all have a piece of the pie, but it's just that, as I said, the industry gatekeepers kind of really keep the gates padlocked.
I feel you. And as my parents age, you know, I remember my dad used to play Frank Sinatra. You know, they used to play about Mom Dorothy Masuka. You know, Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
You know, that's where you got to learn about music, and that's when my taste became diversified to listening to Bizet, to listening to Mozart, to Strauss. You get that from your parents, from their sense of appreciation of the art form.
Yes.
And we are the younger parents. You know, and one, I often struggle to say, what is it then that we are feeding our kids through music? Uzokula ati Mercedes-Benz is what informed them. You know, I could be playing. No, I'm saying it.
I was not involved in this conversation.
No,
I was not there.
I'm just saying. I could be playing Layla. You know, I could be playing Layla and Mfundisa Umtana about the other type of music.
I mean, even with me, I mean, my mom is an opera singer. She founded Gauteng Choristers. So music, my grandfather was also a jazz musician as well. So so with me, I mean, obviously that also helped to kind of have that upbringing because rich music was literally being played at home. Yeah. So you kind of also hear that a bit, and you can hear my influences coming through also, like in my work.
One thing that we demand from ourselves is excellence when we offer whatever. And musicians, artists, actors, writers, directors, even fine art, you know, whether you're looking at the Mona Lisa or you're looking at the Sistine Chapel, that is someone's soul bared for us. And for you, it's even more demanding because we're going to criticize you not knowing the space of what I'm getting at is the appreciation that I'm seeing first from many artists, I'm sure, but you have MT, you know, dedicating the album to his son, and you put that on everything, man. I put my son to it. It's called Avery, you know what I mean? And there you say, dear Andrew, you know, to your dad.
Yes.
And your soul then is honest and pure.
Yes. When I basically decided, because while I was just finishing up the album, I was basically just asked, so what's the album going to be called, you know? And for me, what was very important was to kind of honor my father's memory, you know, to kind of keep him alive and remember what a special person he was, you know. He used to support me, like I promise you. My father knew that I was that kid who was just born for stardom, you know. He always encouraged me. I started off in church, you know. So I used to sing at Sunday school, and then I started getting into the main choir at church. And he was also a pastor as well. So he basically used to always support everything I did, be it talent competitions that I would enter. He'd be that loudest parent basically cheering me on. So for me, I kind of felt that even though he's no longer with us, I just wanted to kind of make him part of my journey and say, Dad, wherever you are, this is for you. I hope you see and you're proud that I finally actually did it. So it's just me involving him and, you know, just paying homage as well back to him.
Because it's such an important role that parents play. Because some parents do not understand the eccentricities of their children. You know, from the three. Why does this one, you know, and because they cannot contain it, they cannot define it, and then they'll try and shift you in another direction where they will feel safe, as if they can understand you. Do you know what I mean? And for a father to support and see that.
Yeah, he did.
It's an amazing thing.
At a very young age. My mom, though, didn't think I could sing, though. So I used to do beauty pageants, which helped because it kind of groomed me for later on in the stage and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I'm sure she was a purist, being an opera singer.
Mom,
as a critic, eh?
She was. Like, she literally didn't think I could sing a lick up until I was 12. Then she was like, okay, I think there's something there.
But what was that a sense of validation as well?
It was. Because I mean, my mom, I look up to her. You know, she's done phenomenal things, and I always kind of want to make sure that she's also proud of what I'm doing, you know. But the beautiful thing about it is that both parents were active, you know. Both of them basically saw that I'm more into the arts. I'm not really that academic, you know, and lawyer, 9-to-5 type job situation. That really wasn't me. I just always wanted to be like in the entertainment industry. And music is where I kind of felt where my calling is, you know. I kind of feel like some people kind of put themselves in spaces such as that, but for me, I feel like it's more of a call that I needed to answer to in order to kind of find fulfillment within myself.
What did Talk to Me do for you?
Talk to Me basically introduced me into the market, you know. But in terms of how do I say this? It just basically introduced me into the market.
Yeah.
You know, it was great to kind of be involved in such a project. Number one, I hated Talk to Me.
Why?
Hated.
Why?
I just felt that it was so different from what I've always done before, but it challenged me like in more ways than one. The produce, because I was introduced to the producer, Utibi, who usually produces DJ Ganyani stuff. So I was called and was like, Layla, I think this could possibly be a big break for you. Come through to studio, let's just jam and see what we can come up with. And Talk to Me was born. I wasn't feeling the song. I don't know, like, I'm not sure what it was. I guess also it was a whole heartbreak situation. Even the whole song, what it talks about as well, you know, and it took a lot out of me, you know, but I mean, after I heard the song coming back after being mixed and mastered, it was like, wow, is that really me, you know? And then obviously once it started kind of going into the market and started hearing the responses from people, you know, you kind of, as an artist, you only can just do what you know how to do, but everything else, you know, it kind of takes over, and it starts a life of its own, basically.
And once it's in our hands, you you know, you would at least want, you know, people are very objective about it, isn't it? At least give yourself.
It was nerve-wracking as well, because
Yeah.
I mean, you put a song up, but you don't really know what people are going to say about it, you know. But when I saw the response, it was absolutely phenomenal.
Tell us about Dear Andrew. You've spoken about the emotional inspiration behind it. You know, what am I gonna get as a listener?
I mean, I think, Dear Andrew, there's something for everyone. I kind of try to cater, you know, coming from people having heard me from Talk to Me, which is house. I try to also incorporate a bit of house songs in there as well, to just to come like, hey, it's still me,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
And then the mood of the album kind of changes a bit, because then I start doing ballads, you know, and basically giving a hint of what the next project would possibly sound, you know. So I try to just balance it off with a bit of house, and also kind of really taking it back to music as well, you know, where I also did a remake of Talk to Me.
Okay.
So people should really look out for the ballad. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Do you feel, Guti, now there is, peace between you and that song?
There is peace. There is peace. I'm happy with how the song came out, you know, and I would just love for people to just kind of hear a bit of a different sound to it. It's still the same song, but there's more emotion in this one. It's more engaging, you know.
And how much of involvement did you have with Gule album in terms of production, writing?
A lot. I mean, the majority of the album I wrote myself. I produced the majority of the songs along with Chris J as well, who was part of production, you know. It was very important for me. I didn't want to tell someone else's story. You know, I feel like whatever music that I do, it has to be authentic, so that you would kind of engage with it, you know. So because if it comes from my heart, you'll hear it, you'll feel it, you know. I don't kind of want to be a manufactured artist where I'm just told what to say, what to sing, you know, things like that. So for me, authenticity is very, very important.
And you're right, you know, we would get it, you know, if it's true and it's from the heart, we'll get it from that first vocal.
I think people kind of need that, you know. I think we need music again. We need real music again.
Absolutely. Where can we get your album? iTunes?
iTunes, Google Play, Apple, as well as all leading music stores, specifically Musica.
Do you think at this stage there can never be enough done, really? You know, you'll always want to know. But in terms of giving credibility to you as an artist, well, there's supposedly 90% of music airplay. Do you think you'll get the necessary push and visibility like their album requires?
I mean, even now, as I just started to just go out and tour and stuff like that, the response has been phenomenal, you know. My single, Rise Again, is really getting like lots of love, massive airplay.
Yeah.
So I can only obviously try and push on my end as well, but I think the support I kind of am getting at this point.
Besides your mother, who would be another point of reference in terms of idolization?
Shade.
For real?
Yes. That woman is just timeless, and that's what I aspire to do, to make timeless music, something that you could listen to in the next 10 years and still connect with the song and still feel, yeah, man, Layla did it, you know.
Yes.
For me, that's just what it's about. It's just about making timeless music and making sure that it connects with the people.
On your social platforms for your fans?
People can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Layla Amor. It's LAYLA_AMOH.
Ms. Layla,
Thank you, sir.
what a pleasure.
Beautiful being here.
Thank you very,
Thank
very
you.
much. Nothing makes a proud father than how his girl, who will always be little girl to them, how they have succeeded. And I'm sure wherever the spirit is, the connection is there. Let it also remind you of a dedication, perhaps to your loved one as well, that there is nothing more beautiful, more meaningful than when a person pours their soul and then dedicate that to their parent. Dear Andrew is out. Please support it. Usentshelile ke ukuthi ngamthola kuphi kuma social platforms na kuma iTunes as well. Support the development of music while in South Africa. Support stars like Layla. Support all the initiatives that they're involved with. Who else can they look to if not their countrymen? We'd like to thank Layla for coming to the show. Look out for that album. It is called Dear Andrew.